Evening guys, I'm just heading up to Ogwen up in Snowdonia, or just beneath it. I'm going to camp somewhere with a nice view of the mighty Tryfan, which you can see there. See you in a bit. Just about halfway up now. I can see some mountain ponies in the distance, so I'm going to try and approach quite quietly and see if I can get a bit of footage of them. That was amazing. They let me come quite close and they seemed quite comfortable with me being there and taking photographs, and they were practically ignoring me. And I was only a couple of meters away. After a while the foal got a little bit nervous and went to stand by her mum, so I thought I'd leave them alone, leave them to it. Right, I'm just looking for a pitch. It's going to go dark in a bit, so better get something sorted. A lot of the ground is a bit boggy. We've had a lot of rain for the past few days, so I'm going to try and find something suitable pretty quickly. Right, I'm a happy man now. I've found my pitch, put the tent up, the ground's nice and level. I'll just flip the camera around so you can see the view. How awesome is that? Fantastic. Tryfan, one of my favourite mountains. I'm just lying here admiring the view. I've got all my sleep systems set up now. So it's about 20 past 8, so I should think about getting something to eat, cooking some food. But first a beer maybe. It's one called Oktoberfest, a German style beer made in Snowdonia. Picked it up from Better Secoid. 6.6%, so it should help a good night's sleep. Just admiring the view one last time before it goes too dark. Cheers. Just waiting for the food to warm up. I'm just trying out a new cooking kettle that I've bought. It's called a Summit X-Kettle, I think, and I've got some nice braised beef in there which I prepared at home. Slow cook for 4 hours and then stuck in the freezer, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm just lying here waiting for my stew to warm up. My feet are stuck out the tent and I'm looking at the mountain of Tryfan silhouetted against the night sky, thinking how lucky I am. It's absolutely fantastic. Snowdonia is just a world-class landscape to look upon. It really is fantastic. I'm a happy man. Right, grub is up. Crusty bread, braised beef, and it's resting on my knee and keeping my knee warm as well. Delicious. And for dessert, a piece of caramel sponge cake. I'm just looking outside the tent and the moon's like a sort of orangey red colour. It's fantastic. I'll try and get a picture of it with my iPhone, but I'm not hopeful that I'll be able to capture it. And also see some headlights over there through the door of the tent, and there's people out in the Devil's Kitchen area. They're either on the Devil's Kitchen or the Gribbin. I can't quite work out where they are. But it's only when you come camping at night in Snowdonia that you realise there's quite a few people out at night. People do like to spend time in the mountains, and they're not necessarily in trouble or due to a lack of planning. They just like to spend time at night and the solitude it brings. Right, hot chocolate time I think. The cooking system I'm using there is what I mentioned before, the Summit X-Kettle, but I've actually got it on a Jetboil with a pan adapter on it. I've had a Jetboil for years, and I bought one of those pan adapters recently so that you can put other utensils on them other than the Jetboil pots, and it's quite good. Quite pleased with it, quite sturdy. Something about wild camping on your own. I've been doing it for years, and it takes a while to get to a level where you're comfortable with doing it, and when you actually enjoy it. It takes a few times before you get to actual enjoyment of it. Well, it did for me anyway. I think when you first start out, possibly if you're in the middle of nowhere, there's a bit of fear, trepidation. You're thinking, what the hell am I doing here? It takes a while to get used to being able to sleep at night, what with the elements and the sounds and what have you. But if you are thinking about doing it, it's well worth doing. Stick with it. You know, if you try it once or twice and you're not sure whether you like it, you know, do try it again and come out and do it again, because you will get to a point where you're comfortable with it and you do really enjoy it. I mean, the first couple of times I did it was with a bivvy bag and a tarpaulin in Snowdonia, and it was way too windy for having a tarp, and the tarp just got ripped up by the wind every couple of hours, even though there were stones on the pegs, big rocks on the pegs holding the pegs down. It was just an incredible night. I kept getting woke up, and I vowed never to do it again. I thought, what the hell am I doing here? But something drew me back, and each time I've enjoyed it more, and you certainly sleep better. I'm a light sleeper myself, but now if I come out and sleep on the hills, I don't get woken up by strange noises, the wind and what have you. So if you're thinking about doing it, if you think it might appeal to you, really give it a go. Get out there, go somewhere where you already know. It does help if you've got some prior knowledge of the place you're going to set up. Makes things a lot easier. Get out there, have a look at the map, check where you're going, maybe go for a walk to the place first, and I think you'll definitely feel the benefit of it. For me, coming out to a place like this, you know, halfway up a mountain in the middle of Snowdonia, one of the country's finest national parks, it really is good for the soul. It's a really wonderful experience, and I think everybody should do it if they get the opportunity. Morning guys, there's my morning view. What a fantastic place to wake up. I was just having my morning brew then, and I heard the almighty roar of a couple of jets approaching, so I grabbed my iPhone and just about managed to catch them going through, and then shortly after a few more followed. Just looking up at the dry stone walls there, some of them are really old. Particularly the ones on the Garn are apparently they were put up by French prisoners of war from the Napoleonic Wars, and there was a camp of them in Nantes Francon, which is just around the corner into the other valley. Just on the way down now. It's been about a year since I've been to Snowdonia, so it was really nice to come back again. I've just spotted those ponies again, so we might get another picture. I'll try and approach carefully. You can just see them there behind me. They're totally wild, those ponies. They live on the Carneddau range usually, and this is the back end of the Carneddau. But I've not seen them over this far into Ogwen Valley before. I've seen them a lot in the Carneddau because it's generally the quieter areas. You see quite a lot of them in certain areas. But they're totally wild, and they live on the hill all year round, and they get rounded up by the park authority with assistance from local farmers and I think a university group, and they get them in to study them and do health checks on them and count the numbers.